Hello world, Dano here, stacking paper as always, running it back, this time with Project Hail Mary, a book again that I've read quite a while ago. I'm recording this video right after my Soldier of the Mist video. So it's still a little fuzzy for me, but because I watched the movie, there's a lot more at least going on when it comes to my memory of this book. Um, this book is a perfect example of something that is completely mid. And a lot of people seem to use mid meaning bad. Like, oh, that shit was mid. No, it's literally middle of the road. It's middling. It's not a bad book. I just didn't get much from it. And a lot of that is because I've read a lot of science fiction and I do have a bias for what I personally like. And this type of kind of like popcorn layman sci-fi is just really not for me. I'll start off with some positives. It's um, it's a wholesome story. It'll make you feel good. You know, you'll read it and be like, oh, that gives me warm fuzzies inside. And I think it's fair to talk about spoilers because it's like there's a movie out. If you haven't even watched the movie, then like you shouldn't be watching this video anyway. The alien in the book, Rocky, is so cute and definitely makes the book worth reading. He kind of hard carries it for me. If this book had no Rocky, it would be actually shit. It's just Rocky adds a nice level of both comedy and I guess endearment to the book. Um, Whereas like the main character, he's just so uninteresting. I have this real problem with like these guys who are like, I'm a scientist, but also I'm like a cool, quirky guy. I fucking can't stand that shit, honestly. He makes so many jokes in this book that some of them are funny, but for every one funny joke, you get like five absolute fucking groaners, like, or I'll just read it and go, ugh, like mitochondria being the powerhouse of the cell type shit. And I'm just like, my goodness, I hate this. it's like Marvel movie quips. And I think the problem I have with it is just they come so frequently. It's like he had a contractual obligation to write a joke every like 30 lines. It's like he had to do it, and it drives me absolutely nuts. It's like if you're doing a hard sci-fi book that has like cool science stuff in it, you don't need to constantly make quips to like keep the attention of the reader. It's so egregious and unnecessary, at least in my opinion. Um, but yeah, the characters are super flat. The prose is so bland. Man, that is one thing that I'm noticing about a lot of modern writing that I've read. Maybe I'm just reading the wrong modern authors, but the prose is just so pedestrian. Like, it's like they're so scared to maybe use words that people don't really know because so many people have such small vocabularies now, I guess. But man, I'm listening to myself. I sound like an old man yelling at clouds right now. But it's just true. Like, I felt this way about Death of the Author. Death of the Author was worse than this, I'll be honest. Like, much worse. Um, in the prose category, at least. Whereas this is just, it's very accessible, but it's so accessible that it kind of loses out on having its own real identity, I feel. Um, like, the concepts are cool. Like, the initial premise of these tiny microbes that are slowly sapping the sun's energy, that's a cool premise. I really do like that. And I like how, you know, the human ingenuity to use, you know, the astrophage to their advantage in order to have almost light speed travel. I like them kind of the problem solving porn. That's what this book is. It's problem solving porn. If you really like listening to people use science to solve problems, this is your kind of book. Because it's like, it's hard sci-fi, but it's like the softest hard sci-fi you'll get, because it doesn't really get into like some deep shit like something like Dragon's Egg or something like that. It's very surface level, and it's pretty well explained. And that's something I'll give a plus to, where I think the book is actually better than the film. The film is okay. Like, a lot of people were singing its praises. It's, again, it's also kind of mid for me. It was just all right. But what the film lacks is there's a lot of stuff that they just don't explain in the film. For example, the biggest one is when Rocky saves Grace. It doesn't explain that, like, the atmosphere is actually killing him. And also, he kind of just fixes himself. Where in the book, you have this kind of, like, Herculean task that Grace, like, lifts Rocky back to his ship and, like, does everything he can to, like, help him. Whereas in the movie, he just kind of waits around until he self-heals. Like, that took a lot of weight away from that for me. But again, that's because they couldn't go through the intricacies of explaining Rocky's atmosphere and just how heavy Rocky is and all these little details that would make him carrying Rocky out that much more impactful. But, like, in general, it was just... It was just an okay novel. Maybe it's just not to my taste. But, yeah, it's just, it didn't add up to something that I found ultimately that enjoyable. Like, something like this could be greater than the sum of its parts, but in this case, the sum of its parts were pretty equal to how middling every part was. But I would say worth reading if you're trying to, like, dip your toe into sci-fi and you don't want to get into that, like, really cerebral, weird new wave shit, and you kind of just want to, you know, be fascinated by space and science, then yeah, you'd actually probably have a really good time with this book. But for me, kind of mid, like high C tier. I think I gave it a 6 out of 10. It's just barely, I just barely like it enough to say that it's not a bad book, but it's just clearing it for me. But yeah, what am I reading next? I don't know. I'm kind of in limbo right now because I just finished moving and I'm only just getting settled in, and I have my bookshelf up, so now I can kind of sift through. But I want to say the Odyssey. I haven't read. It's just crazy to say that I haven't read the Odyssey yet. I read the Iliad. That I really loved. So hopefully the Odyssey can live up to the epic that is Homer. But yeah, until next time, take it easy.